diseases, we completed the part that is bacterially transmitted diseases. So we discussed several bacterially transmitted diseases, their symptoms, their positive organisms, and their impact on the fetus if the mother is suffering from this disease. Next day we did the same for virus. Okay, and I told you that animal virus, generally they are called retrovirus because they have RNA as a genetic material. So whenever they are getting inserted into any kind of organism cell, they first inject their RNA and then transform this RNA into DNA via enzyme with the help of an enzyme called reverse transcriptase. Name of the enzyme which is responsible for converting viral RNA into DNA is called reverse transcriptase. After that, what happens is, after that, the viral DNA is incorporated into host DNA and then it takes command over the host cell. Now virus will be ready to make host cell do whatever is the wish of virus. Okay, they prepare multiple copies of virus inside it, and once the virus number exceeds the limit, the cell rupture and new virus released to affect the new cells. So this is the way they grow. So I explained yesterday for some student who may not be present yesterday. I am repeating this part. So that is why it is very difficult for us to kill the virally infected cells, because the problem is the virally infected cells will seem as if they are our own cells, isn't it? So we ourselves cannot distinguish, okay, in this cell virus is there and this cell is not. It's only T cell of our immune system which can recognize the altered cell via the markers expressed on the surface of the cell. So obviously by identification of such cells as per their markers, they can kill these altered cells. So that's why for viral diseases, we don't have any direct treatment. There is one chemical secreted by our body named interferon. Artificially produced interferon can be injected to help immune system to kill virus. This is one thing we can do from our side. Second thing is we can build an immune system which is so strong that virus can be killed by using this immune system. Third thing that generally doctors do, they treat the symptoms of the disease. For example, if due to viral infection, if anyone is having fever, cough and cold, and then breathlessness, all these symptoms can be cured by different application of different medicines. But as such, we need to depend solely on our immune system for eradication of virus. इसीलिए virus disease में you can see the time भी ज़्यादा लगते हैं. Why we say कि in COVID we require to wait for 14 days? क्योंकि virus grow करेगा, it will replicate, and then once replication is done, it will go by itself only. वो नया host तब तलाश करता है. He will be no more interested in the old host. So as for that, we studied many diseases like chlamydia, syphilis, gonorrhea. We studied about hepatitis. We studied about AIDS. So any doubt, students, regarding all this?
No, ma'am.
I am again asking because if you have any doubt regarding chapter number 1 and chapter number 3, that is how do organisms reproduce and human reproduction, you can in between also, or at the beginning of the lecture or at the end of the lecture ask me, because this Sunday you will be having one test. That's why. Okay. So as you gave me the green signal, I am proceeding towards today the concept of infertility and its cure. Okay. So let us talk about the concept of Infertility. So what is infertility? What do we mean by the word infertility? When we can say, okay, this person is infertile. Sterile तो is yes. Kausha is, she is raising hand. Yes, Kausha beta, bolo.
Ma'am, inability to produce children in spite of unprotected sexual cohabitation.
Very good, very good. So it is inability to produce offspring in spite of unprotected sex. So obviously we need to understand if a person is using any kind of birth control measure, we cannot call that person infertile, because by nature the person is fertile, but as per the wish, the person is being infertile. Now, there is a difference between using this word infertile and sterile. Sterile means it's a permanent thing. Throughout the life, organism will be sterile. There is no specific reason behind it. Organism can be sterile throughout the life. But if I'm using the term infertility, it can be cured by some means. So now let us have a look into the reasons of infertility. What do you think can be the reasons, different reasons of infertility? What do you feel? What can be the reason? Suggest. Any reason? Very easy question I asked. I guess all of you should be able to understand. Answer. पहला वाला तो सबको आएगा. Yes, बेटा.
Ma'am, congenital.
What do you mean by congenital? What is the meaning of the word congenital?
By born.
Congenital means something that we inherit. So can you give me any example where there is a congenital defect due to infertility? I mentioned it. A specific disease, we talked about it. If anyone can remember. Anyone? Very easy. I told you it's visible in case of males, beta. Male are born with some kind of defect. Okay, I will mention it. It's called cryptorchidism. So what is cryptorchidism? I mentioned about this disease previously when I was teaching you male reproductive system class.
Testes are present inside the body.
Yes. So in case of males, at the initial stage of embryo development, testis is located in the abdominal cavity, and then it climbed down to the scrotal sac via a canal called inguinal canal. As during that time, like male child is not producing sperm, testes being inside abdomen will not affect anything, because sperm production के लिए ही we require temperature less than 2 degree of body temperature. So obviously at that time child doesn't require to produce sperm. So even if it is in abdomen doesn't matter. But during the adult time, if by some means it is staying there inside abdomen only, the person will be sterile, because to maintain body temperature below 2 degree body temperature is not possible if the testis is located at the abdominal region. So this type of disorder is called cryptorchidism. So if anyone is born with such kind of errors, we can call this type of disease as congenital infertility. And congenital or diseases that we gain by birth can be one of the reasons. Very good. Second reason, who is going to tell me? Who will tell me the second reason? Most simple one, no one is thinking. सबसे simple वाला जो reason है, no one is thinking about that. One person. Who want to
ovulation?
Ovulation. Ovulation though is all right. That means you can say, you want to say hormonal imbalance.
मैम वो egg महीने every month egg release करता है तो उसकी वजह से.
So we will write here a common thing, that is hormonal imbalance. Okay. We know that ovulation, menstrual cycle, and even in case of male, the production of sperm and its maturation all depends on the amount of hormone and is regulated by pituitary and hypothalamus by secretion of various hormones. So obviously if there is any kind of imbalance created in the hormonal pool of the body, that can be symptomized by hormonal imbalance, and it will be having a reason. For example, कुछ ladies के लिए ऐसा problem होता है, they don't produce egg on time, and even if they are producing, it is not healthy enough to go for fertilization. So for them, hormonal imbalance can be a reason. Apart from that, low sperm count or production of unhealthy sperm, all of them can be a reason of, like, can be caused by hormonal imbalance also. Very good point, Dish. Second one, third one. One person. Bolo. Raise your hand and speak, one of you. Chalo, Mishka, bolo.
Ma'am, abnormal menstrual cycle.
That is coming under hormonal imbalance. Yes, Kausha.
Psychological disorder.
Very good. I know that, let me write down here the problem. That is irregular. What is happening today? I don't know. Irregular menstruation and problem in gamete production. Okay, psychological criteria is something which is ignored by all of us. But let me tell you, there is an effect called placebo effect in medical science. Have you heard about this placebo effect?
No, ma'am.
Let me tell you one experimentation here. I know we are deviating a bit from the topic, but it's very interesting. One experiment was performed. If one person is stung by a snake, किसी को अगर कोई snake bite दिया जाए, तो obviously as snake bite will have poison, our body will develop certain kind of antibodies against that poison. Now what they observed was one prisoner was there. Every day he knew that he need to go for death sentence via biting of a snake. तो उसको पता था, and he was panicking every day कि कब वो दिन आएगा, कब मुझे बाइट किया जाएगा, पता नहीं क्या होगा, दर्द होगा कि नहीं, तकलीफ होगा कि नहीं, ये होगा कि नहीं, वो होगा कि नहीं. And he was so much engrossed about his death and about imagining different situations when he will have snake bite. Trust me, on the day of death sentence, one rope was touched into his body and he died at that moment only. There was no reason of the death. In this corona situation, I heard an instance in West Bengal where a 24-year-old guy had acute breathlessness in the evening. By somehow they managed oxygen cylinder and everything, and he died at around 2 PM in the night. Okay. उसके बाद अगले दिन जब उसका कोरोना रिपोर्ट आ रहा है, पता चल रहा है he was COVID negative. So psychology has a great impact on the health of anyone. Consider a person has gone any kind of child molestation during childhood or was raped due to some reason, may have a fear psychosis for fertilization, for reproduction procedure, and in such cases, obviously the person may turn into infertile one. But obviously with proper psychological counseling, medication and sessions, this type of infertility can be cured easily. Very good point, Pasha. Third one, but I am still waiting for the most simple point who, like this one, no one is speaking about it.
Ma'am.
Bolo.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Bolo.
Age.
Age, Priyanshi. Ha, age is a reason, beta. But we will not mention age here because it is natural. It is but natural that by age, capacity of everything is decreasing. है ना? So it is something natural to be considered. जैसे कि if anyone is asking you कि what are the reasons of heart attack, तो वहाँ आप नहीं बोलेंगे age, because at higher age it is possible to have a heart attack. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, less sperm count.
Yes, you can say less sperm count. Actually, we covered this in hormonal imbalance, but let us make them less sperm count, or it can be irregular ovulation. Then it can be low quality of gametes. Then other than that, one of the most easy method, if every one of you are overlooking. बोलो.
Overweight या underweight होने से भी affect होता है.
Very good. So I am incorporating here lifestyle. Not only overweight and underweight, if a person is consuming too much cigarette or alcohol or addicted to a drug, sterility can be there better. Too much addicted with the using of mobile, keeping mobile at wrong places, it is a new discovery by scientists that too much radiation, as well as in some cases too much exposure to certain poisonous chemicals can cause infertility. Amongst them, one of this is a very potent chemical released by burning of plastic. One should never ever burn plastic. ये कई बार देखा जाता है, फेंक के कुछ होगा नहीं, चलो जला देते हैं. We should recycle, not burn, because after burning plastic, lot many harmful gases are getting out of it. So all lifestyle habits. If a person is drug addicted, after prolonged use of the drug, infertility can be a reason. Same is with alcoholism, without limit, I mean to say, as well as smoking of cigarette without a limit. Similarly, lifestyle. If a person is very not overweight, in case of overweight, it is not that much affecting. If a person is obese, I hope you know the difference between being overweight and obese. Anyone? Have you heard about these two terminologies? आप में से किसने किसने आपकी BMI कैलकुलेट की है, बॉडी मास इंडेक्स? This is something very interesting you can do. Search in internet about BMI. BMI. It will be considering 3 factors. Yes, Mishka. Yes, Mishka.
मैम मैंने किया अपने दिया.
You are overweight, underweight, obese. What you are?
लेकिन लाइक बहुत टाइम पहले की थी मैंने, लाइक इन स्कूल जब चालू थी तब हुई थी.
अभी हम किसी को मोटा सिर्फ मोटा बोलने से नहीं बोल सकते हैं. You cannot tell randomly कि भाई तुम मोटे हो या तुम पतले हो. You need to have this value. It will consider your age, your height, your body weight, and you need to put all this data into a formula to get a value of BMI. And there is a BMI chart which will tell you that as per the BMI, you will be overweight or obese. Being overweight is bad, but being obesity is a disease. So obviously, if a person is having obesity, that person can have infertility. Very true. Let's move on to the next point. What is the next point you people think? Yes, Mishka.
Ma'am, cystic fibrosis.
Very good. Cystic fibrosis. What is this? What is cystic fibrosis? That means ovarian cyst. If a person is having fluid-filled pouches in the ovary, that is called cyst. आजकल ये बहुत common है. Many girls are having irregular periods and cystic fibrosis. In case of cystic fibrosis, infertility can be one of the reasons. Ovarian cysts are there. That is called cystic fibrosis. Other than that, सबसे सिंपल वाला किसी ने नहीं बोला, defect in structure of reproductive system. Isn't it? Structural defect हो सकता है कि नहीं हो सकता है?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
तो वो तो सबसे पहले बोलना चाहिए था बेटा कि समझो uterus is not accommodative enough to promote the child, fallopian tubule is blocked somewhere, or vagina is having some problem. So in all such cases, the pregnancy cannot be achieved easily. Okay, and last thing I would like to say is immunogenical defect. The example of immunogenical defect is erythroblastosis, fetalis. What is this अजीबोगरीब disease? Okay, anyone heard about this erythroblastosis fetalis? नाम से ही किसी को इंटरेस्ट नहीं आ रहा होगा कि क्या अजीब सी चीज बोल रहे हो आप. Okay, let me tell you. अच्छा, all of you know about blood groups? How many blood groups are possible? ब्लड ग्रुपिंग तो पढ़ा होगा ना अपने ग्रेड 11 में.
यस मैम.
नक्षत्र, अभी, कृषांक, I want to hear from all of you also. श्यामा, आपने पढ़ा ब्लड ग्रुपिंग?
Yes, ma'am.
What are the blood groups available? क्या क्या ब्लड ग्रुप्स होते हैं?
A, B, O, AB.
और AB. शाबाश. प्रियांशी, विश्का, येशा सभी हैंड रेज कर रहे हैं. ओके, बट आई वांट एवरीवन टू स्पीक. दैट्स व्हाई आई एम इग्नोरिंग योर हैंड रेज्ड नाउ. बट यू आर माय फेवरेट बेटा. थैंक यू फॉर रिस्पोंडिंग इन एवरी क्वेश्चंस. Let us talk here. Immunogenical defect or erythroblastosis fetalis is related to Rh positive and negative. Do you know what is Rh positive and negative? No idea. Chalo, let's have idea now. Let us know more about erythroblastosis fetalis.
Yes, ma'am. RH group. I think we have studied in 11th.
हाँ, that's why I am asking ना. इतना अभी मुझे तो टेंशन ही हो रहा है. क्या हो गया?
वो प्रेगनेंसी के लिए.
हाँ.
उसमें RH ग्रुप होता है. RH नेगेटिव पहले डॉक्टर पूछते कि RH नेगेटिव हो तो फिर वो प्रेगनेंसी मतलब लीस्ट होगी.
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. सिर्फ प्रेगनेंसी के लिए क्यों? हमेशा RH पॉजिटिव RH नेगेटिव इज इम्पोर्टेंट डिश. चलो मुझे एक चीज बताओ, जब कोई किसी का ब्लड ग्रुप ए होता है, लेट अस डिस्कस ऑन दिस टॉपिक बिकॉज़ दीज आर सम वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट ऑफ ग्रेड 11 जो आपने अगर भूल गए तो फिर हो गया हमारा. अगर इफ सम पर्सन इज हैविंग ब्लड ग्रुप ए, तो ये ए ब्लड ग्रुप इसका है, हम बोलते क्यों? व्हाई? व्हाई बोलते हैं कि इसका ब्लड ग्रुप ए है? बिकॉज इट हैज एंटीजन ए ऑन आरबीसी. जिसकी ब्लड ग्रुप ए होगा उसकी बॉडी में जो आरबीसी है उस पे एंटीजन क्या होगा? ए होगा. विच एंटीजन? एंटीजन का नेम क्या होगा? इट विल बी ए. ओके, now let us come back here. अब एंटीबॉडी produced by अगर इस ए को मैंने कहीं पे भी दिया तो ये इसके अगेंस्ट जो एंटीबॉडी प्रोड्यूस करेगा दैट विल बी अल्फा. ठीक है, तो किसको डोनेट कर सकता है ये ब्लड? ये डोनेट कर सकता है ब्लड ए को और ए बी को. एंड फ्रॉम whom it can accept blood? ये किससे एक्सेप्ट कर सकता है ब्लड? It can accept blood from O and A. ये वाली पार्ट क्लियर है सबकी? Or you will want me to continue and speak about other blood groups?
No, ma'am.
मैम क्लियर है.
हाँ. So RH positive means what? RH positive means उसके आरबीसी में RH रिशस फैक्टर नाम की एंटीजन है. अब जो इंसान RH नेगेटिव है उसकी आरबीसी में रिशस फैक्टर या RH पॉजिटिव फैक्टर नहीं है, तो क्या होगा? इफ anything which is not there as a part of your cell or body is injected into your body will identify it as a foreign particle. अगर समझो किसी ए ब्लड ग्रुप वाले का ब्लड हमने बी ब्लड ग्रुप वाले को दिया, तो बी वाले ब्लड ग्रुप वाले व्यक्ति के पास आरबीसी में ये ए एंटीजन है ही नहीं, तो उसको क्या लगेगा, बाहर से कोई दुश्मन आया है, मारो मारो मारो, तो तुरंत सारे ए ब्लड ग्रुप के सेल्स जो है उसको डिस्ट्रॉय कर देंगे। सिमिलरली जो RH पॉजिटिव है उसकी आरबीसी पे ये रिशस फैक्टर एंटीजन इज देयर। अब अगर RH नेगेटिव वाले को तुम सेम ब्लड दे रहे हो तो वो क्या सोचेगा कि तो बाहर से आया हो, कौन सी चीज है, पता नहीं क्या नुकसान करेगा, इसको मार डालो। दैट्स व्हाई क्या होता है, अगर हम विदाउट मैचिंग ब्लड ग्रुप ट्रांसफ्यूजन ऑफ ब्लड करते हैं तो ब्लड क्लॉट हो जाता है, और ब्लड क्लॉट हो जाने से एक तो वो काम नहीं करता है, ऊपर से वो ब्लॉकेज बनाता है जिसकी वजह से इंसान की इमीडिएट डेथ हो जाती है। तो जैसे ए वाली ब्लड ग्रुप हम बी वाले को नहीं दे सकते, वैसे ही RH प्लस वाली ब्लड ग्रुप RH माइनस वाले ब्लड ग्रुप व्यक्ति के ऊपर चलता नहीं है। हाँ, RH माइनस जो है वो तुम RH प्लस को दे सकते हो। क्यों दे सकते हो, समझो ए नेगेटिव जिसका ब्लड है वो ए पॉजिटिव को ब्लड दे सकता है, दैट इज पॉसिबल, बट ये ऑपोजिट वाली चीज नहीं हो सकती। क्यों नहीं हो सकती है, Who is going to explain? क्यों ए नेगेटिव वाला ए पॉजिटिव वाले को ब्लड दे सकता है बट ए पॉजिटिव वाला ए नेगेटिव को नहीं दे सकता है? बोलो प्रियांशी, कैन यू आंसर बेटा? अभी सबने बोला हमें ब्लड ग्रुपिंग पता है आगे, then why you are stopping yourself?
मैम maybe because A पॉजिटिव के पास रेशियस फैक्टर होगा तो आइडेंटिफाई कर पाएगा, और A नेगेटिव के पास रेशियस फैक्टर नहीं होगा तो वो ए पॉजिटिव
अगर उसके पास नहीं, देखो अब समझो तुम ए नेगेटिव वाले की आरबीसी देख रहे हो तो उसकी आरबीसी में एक ही मार्कर होगा, दैट इज फॉर ए। दिस इज द आरबीसी ऑफ ए पॉजिटिव वाला, ए नेगेटिव वाला। और अगर तुम ए पॉजिटिव वाले की ब्लड ग्रुप को देख रहे हो उसकी आरबीसी में दो मार्कर होंगे, वन मार्कर विल बी फॉर ए एंड अनदर मार्कर विल बी फॉर RH। अब क्या हो रहा है, ये ब्लड तुम जब इसको दे रहे हो, ए नेगेटिव वाला जब ए पॉजिटिव वाले को ब्लड दे रहा है तो उसके लिए तो ये ए वाली चीज फॉरेन नहीं है ना, इज इट फॉरेन फॉर दैट पर्सन? उसके खुद के पास भी तो वही है, तो उसको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, वो उसके अगेंस्ट कोई भी एक्शन नहीं लेगा एंड ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन कैन बी डन सेफली, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। बट तुम जब यहाँ पे जाके ए पॉजिटिव वाले का ब्लड ए नेगेटिव को दे रहे हो, ये जो एक्स्ट्रा चीज है, इज इट प्रेजेंट हियर? ए नेगेटिव वाले के पास है ये चीज?
नहीं,
तो वो तो उसको फॉरेन समझेगा ना, इट विल कॉज एग्लूटिनेशन और क्लॉटिंग ऑफ द ब्लड, तो ऑब्वियसली ब्लड क्लॉट हो जाएगा तो वो इंसान मर ही जाएगा ना। That's why RH factor is also very important। ऐसा नहीं है सभी A ब्लड ग्रुप एक दूसरे A ब्लड ग्रुप को दे सकते हैं। We need to check कि वो A पॉजिटिव को दे सकता है, A नेगेटिव को दे सकता है। सबसे अच्छा डोनर कौन होता है? जो सबको दे सकता है बट किसी का ले नहीं सकता है। यूनिवर्सल डोनर कौन होता है? जो सबको ब्लड दे सकता है और जिसकी ब्लड की भाव सोने के भाव होती है। ओ व्हाट आई टोल्ड यू ना कि इन ओ आल्सो ओ नेगेटिव। ओ नेगेटिव मींस उसकी आरबीसी जो होती है वो ऐसे होती है, उसमें ना ए बी का कोई एंटीजन होता है ना रिशस का एंटीजन होता है, तो it can be accepted by anyone। I have O negative blood group। very मतलब it should not be there। अगर एक्सीडेंट हो जाए या कुछ हो जाए, it is very difficult to find because number of people have O negative blood group are very rare। So is this concept clear to all of you? And who can? Yes, but ओ क्या?
गोल्डन ब्लड भी होता है, गोल्डन ब्लड भी होता है ना?
गोल्डन ब्लड भी होता है, एक बॉम्बे ब्लड ग्रुप बोल के होता है, दैट इज ऑल्सो वेरी रेयर. बॉम्बे ब्लड ग्रुप इसलिए बोलते हैं कि वो दैट इज डिस्कवर्ड इन बॉम्बे, दैट्स व्हाई. दे आल्सो हैव अ वेरी रेयर ब्लड ग्रुप.
ओके.
बट कॉमनली फाउंड ये 5 होते हैं, ए बी ओ, ए एंड बी, एंड फर्दर दे कैन बी बाइफरकेटेड. सो बेसिकली 8 प्रकार के ब्लड ग्रुप होते हैं. ए पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव, बी पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव, O positive negative, AB positive negative, and the person who can accept any type of blood is AB positive, क्योंकि एक तो उसके पास A एंटीजन भी होता है, B एंटीजन भी होता है. This is the RBC of O negative, RBC of O negative. और AB positive का RBC ऐसा होगा, it will have antigen for A, it will have antigen for B, it will have antigen for RH also. So AB positive can take blood from anyone. उसको कहीं से ब्लड लेने में कोई दिक्कत नहीं, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. He will not have anything foreign. Okay, चलो. Let us focus more on now erythroblastosis fetalis. But this was actually required for us to know. Otherwise ये आपको पता नहीं चलेगा. That's why I confirm that everyone has that background knowledge. Now let me tell you what happens in case of erythroblastosis fetalis. Consider if mother is RH negative, okay, and the first child born is RH positive. So what will happen? Mother will identify RH antigen and develop memory cell against it. There will be no such problem in case of first child, क्योंकि जब तक मदर उसको आइडेंटिफाई करके उसके अगेंस्ट एंटी बॉडीज एंड मेमोरी सेल प्रिपेयर कर लेता है, तब तक फर्स्ट चाइल्ड की बर्थ सेफली एंड सिक्योरली हो जाता है. Now what happens is, if next time during when the mother conceives, if mother is RH negative and second child is again RH positive, so the memory cell produced last time make immune system of mother act promptly and child, or rather to say fetus, gets killed. That's why here killing will be done due to the foreign invasion in RBC. RBC, we know that it is known as erythrocyte. That's why this name, erythroblastosis and fetal. Okay, so you need to understand this whole concept के क्या होता है. It's not correct for all types of pregnancy if the mother is Rh negative and child is Rh positive. If mother is Rh positive, no problem. फिर child Rh positive भी हो, Rh negative भी हो, there will be no problem. If mother is Rh negative and child is also Rh negative, no problem. But this is not a very problematic disease. Now we have cure to this disease. If mother goes and understand about it earlier and takes some injection during pregnancy, which are going to suppress mother's immune system in terms of child's Rh positivity, the second child also can survive. But the key is lying into the correct identification of the child's blood group at correct time. वो जल्दी हो जाना चाहिए, नहीं तो फिर बाद में the second child will get good. Everyone understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, next thing that is mentioned in this context in your textbook is amniocentesis. I talked about amniocentesis earlier. Can anyone tell me what is amniocentesis? हमने डिस्कस की है amniocentesis. Anyone? What do we mean by amniocentesis? Chalo, I will write down the name here.
And process of taking out amniotic fluid for checking the fetus.
Checking basically it is done to check the different parameters of the fetus. One of them is karyotyping, that is checking the chromosomal composition of the fetus. कि क्या वो fetus में कोई chromosomal disorder है कि नहीं? Is the fetus have any kind of birth or by birth any kind of defect in the DNA? We know that in all our life genetic disorders cannot be cured. कोई भी ऐसा genetic disorder नहीं है जिसकी permanent cure is possible other than having gene therapy. So gene therapy is something it is very rarely applied for some kind of diseases. So let us put it aside and talk. So in that case, genetic disorder, if a person is born with any kind of genetic disorder, then no option will be left to that person than to carry that disorder further in life. So इससे बेहतर है if at early stage this disorder can be detected, then one can go for abortion than being giving a painful life to the child. What do you think? Yes, no, anything? No suggestion?
Yes, ma'am.
So, two-way protection is required. One, before marriage, one should himself get checked for the presence of the genetic disorders. In next unit, you will come to know that such genetic disorders are like, they are kind of, what I can say, inheritable. And let me tell you, we don't have any solution of any such kind of disorder. So before marriage, many of the time we match kundlis and all. But I feel matching and getting genetic disorders checked is most important, because many of the genetic disorders a person doesn't suffer from. For example, color blindness or hemophilia, ladies can be carrier too. मतलब They themselves do not suffer from their disease. They are carrying that disorder to the next generation. So in such cases, only by genetic analysis, we will be able to understand that a person is suffering from disorder. But in our country, amniocentesis legally is not allowed. Even if they are doing it, they don't declare the sex of the child. Because while going for chromosomal analysis, you can identify कि X या Y chromosome है कि नहीं, and one can understand the determination of sex of child is allowed. So is that part clear to everyone? Amniocentesis? Anyone having any question?
No, ma'am.
I want to hear from others also. I have 13 students here.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I am going to tell you on another technique which is similar to amniocentesis, and in this case, it is actually not prescribed much, but previously it was done. That is called chorionic villus sampling. So what is chorionic villi? Can anyone tell me what is chorionic villi?
Through which nutrition is provided to child.
Is it present towards child side or towards mother side? Chorionic villi is generated from child or from mother?
From child.
It is at the child's life. These are small projection of chorion which is developed. The way mother side develop placenta, similar way child side or fetal side is having chorionic villi. So what is done during this chorionic villus sampling? Basically, catheter is inserted, and by some using some kind of forceps, obviously they don't do it via any means. They actually during going for the procedure, they continuously follow the ultrasound image of the child. एक अल्ट्रासाउंड से एक इमेजिंग क्रिएट किया जाता है, through which you can see the position of child, and by looking into that ultrasound image continuously वो update होता रहता है. By having a look into the screen like this, a person need to operate with the hand and take out some sample of the chorionic villi. But it's a very difficult method to do. Why very difficult method to do? Because while sucking out some sample from the chorionic villi, if the positioning of the sucker is wrong, in that case child may get damaged. अगर chorionic villi का वो part जो child development से, obviously it is a part of child development, but major part अगर किसी वजह से आ गया या गलती से बच्चे के बॉडी में वो सकर टच हो गया और बच्चे के बॉडी में से थोड़ा सा पार्ट टूट के आ गया, then the child can be born with different type of disability. Okay, that's why it is not suggested. ये suggest नहीं किया जा सकता है. Not even in case of child, अगर mother की भी uterus में कहीं पे ये sucker touch हो गया and that part is damaged, mother can also have some kind of complication. But these are the two methods you can know, that one is amniocentesis and other is chorionic villus sampling, by which one can understand about the status of child. What are so these two methods are termed as invasive methods. Why we call them invasive methods? What do we mean by invaders? What is the meaning of the word invaders? See, let me come in here and comment. Maybe you people are not understanding. See, previously pregnancy was a matter which was handled by obviously trained people, but they had less tools available for judgment. For example, पहले के जमाने में गांव में जब किसी की प्रेगनेंसी आती थी, जनरली घर के जो बड़े बुजुर्ग लेडी थे वो अपने एक्सपीरियंस से बोलते थे. बाहर से देख के जितना बोला जा सकता था वही बोलते थे. They didn't have option के वो बच्चे को एक्चुअली देख पाए या माँ की शरीर के अंदर जाके चीजों को देख पाए. Do you agree with me? Yes, no?
Yes.
जिसके वजह से many a times it was observed that various complication was associated with pregnancy. कहीं अंदर बच्चा मर चुका है, माँ को पता ही नहीं है, वो बच्चे के सेल्स अंदर डिस्ट्रॉय हो रहे हैं, मदर इज ऑल्सो हैविंग इन्फेक्शन एंड मदर ऑल्सो डाइज. आजकल ये चीजें नहीं होती है क्योंकि इमीडिएटली आफ्टर कॉम्प्लिकेशन a mother can go to hospital जहाँ टेक्निक्स अवेलेबल होते हैं जिससे हम अंदर की स्थिति को बेहतर तरीके से जान सकते हैं. We can come to know about the internal condition of parent and child in a more elaborate manner. So what are these techniques? These techniques can be divided into two types. One is invasive technique, or the method in which directly some sample or something is inserted inside and it is checked. And second is non-invasive technique. In this, we will look into the fetus from a distance. We will not come into contact with the fetus. Invasive technique is best. Non-invasive technique से we cannot get the karyotype done. मतलब karyotype done मतलब what is karyotype? Structure of chromosome study. यानी बच्चे को कोई genetic disorder हुआ है कि नहीं, वो मेल है फीमेल है, what are the by birth difficulty, वो सब चीजें हम invasive method से ही जान सकते हैं. There is no other method than invasive method by which we can come to know about it. But there are methods which are safe, which are called non-invasive method. अगर कोई complication नहीं available है, so in that case, these methods can be safely administered to understand the status of the child. तब हम ये methods use कर सकते हैं. इसमें क्या क्या होता है, कोई किसी को idea है? One is called ultrasound. What do we mean by ultrasound? ये तो USG बोलते हैं, अल्ट्रासोनोग्राफी. अल्ट्रासाउंड के यूएस से जो किया जाता है that is called USG, that is अल्ट्रासोनोग्राफी. क्या किया जाता होगा इसमें? Can anyone tell me? क्या किया जाता है बेटा? You know about
ultrasound. Ultrasound is passed and from means it will deflect, so we can come to know the
very good consider a wall is having this type of structures. So obviously if I am throwing ultrasound, when sound is deflected from here and a sound that is passing from this surface will have different angles, different speed. Okay, so obviously based on the angles, different angles and different speeds and the angle of deflection or reflection, one can produce an image. That image is known as ultrasound sonography image. So when the child is inside mother's womb, तब CT scan या X-ray ये सारी चीजें हम नहीं कर सकते, because X-ray is obviously a ray which can cause damage to the child. कुछ बच्चे को डैमेज करवाने की फुल पोटेंशियल उसमें होती है. ओके, दैट्स व्हाई अल्ट्रासाउंड इज कंसीडर्ड एज वन ऑफ द सेफेस्ट मेथड, जिसमें हम अंदर तक ना जाके सिर्फ साउंड फेंक के और साउंड की डिफ्लेक्शन को चेक करके वी कैन क्रिएट द इमेज ऑफ द चाइल्ड. इतनी परफेक्ट इमेज होती है उसमें, बच्चे की मूवमेंट को यू कैन लोकेट, and even they can monitor the heartbeat of the child if it is working properly or not. At the initial days of pregnancy, ultrasound sonic instrument is inserted through mother's vagina, and then the child activity is monitored. But as the pregnancy proceeds, तब चाइल्ड बड़ा हो जाता है, fetus is grown up, and now inserting anything through vagina and going for ultrasonography is risky. So then they go for strong machines which can be throwing sound from outside the mother's body and still can be able of creating image of the child. Okay. Generally, after 4 to 5 months, it is prescribed for this external USG. Okay. Other than that, there is another method called fetoscopy. So one is ultrasound. Second method, it is very recent method. Still, like this facility is not available everywhere. Fetoscopy means here inserting a minute camera in uterus to see child development. Although there is insertion of some like something inside uterus, but it is not getting in direct contact with the child the way in case of amniocentesis or CBS we are coming in direct contact with the child. In fetoscopy it is never touching the child, so it is safe. Okay, and third thing that is done is monitoring the fetal cells leaked in mother's bloodstream. We know the mother is ultimately responsible for excretion as well as supplying different types of products to the child. So obviously in this case, some part of the child's cell will be there in the bloodstream of mother. But its percentage is very less. You can get it more readily by amniocentesis or CBS. Here the amount of these cells and probability of finding them is very less. But obviously via detailed monitoring, one can achieve this. It's not that difficult to achieve this. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
I request everyone to sit with your book and have a look into the book, textbook that is NCERT you are following. should we proceed? Is it all right from everyone's side? This part? Then we will see how to get rid of infertility.
Yes, ma'am.
So today we will talk about various ways of getting rid of infertility. We will talk about them one by one. Depending on the different types of reason of infertility, infertility is treated accordingly. Consider if a person is having defect in the reproductive system of himself or herself. In such cases, nothing much can be done. Only by some surgical intervention, if it can be corrected, it's all right. If not, then पहले तो लोग गोद में ले लेते थे बच्चों को, that we can call it adopt करना. Nowadays, we can have surrogate mother or donor father. They can go for reproduction. They will be genetic father and mother of the child. So, if it is psychological, then one should consult psychologist and can get rid of this disease then very easily. If any such disease is caused by some other method, that is like hormonal imbalance and all, so obviously we need to consult endocrinologist who will give you better idea about the modification of hormonal level. They go for various tests and based on that they try different types of hormonal medication only which a person is lacking to give a solution to the problem. If the problem is associated with any kind of defect in the gamete formation, for example, Dish mentioned about imperfect ovulation. Kosha, I think, mentioned about imperfect menstrual cycle. So in such cases, the reason is observed. That what might be the reason? If the reason is hormonal medications are provided. If no way is there, in this case also one can think about surrogacy. That means in that case, they will take help of some external member and take sperm or egg from that person. That person will be genetic mother or father of the child. Okay. So these are the different ways one can go for different methods. Now I wish to show you an interesting video and we will start our discussion about assisted reproductive technology after looking into this video. It's an animation which shows that how assisted reproductive technology is operative. I am very fortunate that I spent a lot of time in the research field. I myself got opportunity to work in a lab which is one of the best lab considered in terms of IVF in India, that is Hinduja Hospital, Bombay, Churni Road. I was fortunate enough to go for this type of technologies, and I can show you how in like DNA from a donor can be injected into sperm, and very easily if natural fertilization process is having any kind of defect, that problem can be solved by going for artificial fertilization. Okay, so I will share the screen for the video. Wait for 1 minute. I guess the screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
So what was that procedure? Ovum was collected. Okay. Ova was collected from mother's ovary.
In vitro fertilization is a process where a woman's eggs are fertilized outside her body, then placed back inside her body to help her get pregnant. A woman's reproductive system includes the vagina, cervix, uterus, fallopian tubes, and ovaries. During the monthly menstrual cycle, one of the ovaries releases an egg in a process called ovulation. After ovulation, the egg enters the fallopian tube. A woman is most likely to become pregnant if she has sex in the days just before, during, or right after ovulation. During this time, a sperm cell from a man's reproductive fluid, called semen, is able to fertilize the egg just inside the fallopian tube. As it travels along the fallopian tube, the fertilized egg, now called an embryo, loses the outer cells that nourished it in the ovary. The embryo passes from the fallopian tube into the uterus. In the uterus, the embryo sheds its protective outer layer, called the zona pellucida, in a process called zona hatching. Zona hatching is necessary for the embryo to implant in the tissue lining the uterus. During implantation, a connection between the woman and the embryo begins to grow. This organ, called the placenta, allows oxygen and nutrients to pass from her to the embryo. In vitro fertilization may be performed if a woman has been having trouble getting pregnant, a condition known as infertility, or it may be done if a woman wants to have a child without a male partner. Before in vitro fertilization, a woman will receive fertility medication that causes more than one egg to grow and mature in the ovaries. A man will provide a semen sample so that the healthiest sperm can be collected for fertilization. If the male partner is completely infertile, also known as sterile, or the woman doesn't have a male partner, a donor may be arranged to provide sperm for this process. In vitro fertilization consists of 3 main procedures: follicle aspiration, fertilization, and embryo transfer. During the first procedure, called follicle aspiration, eggs will be harvested from the ovaries. At the beginning of this procedure, an ultrasound probe will be inserted into the woman's vagina so that her doctor can view her ovaries. Inside the ovaries, the doctor will look for follicles. Each follicle is a fluid-filled sac that contains an egg. Then the doctor will insert a long, thin needle into and through the wall of her vagina and guide it to the ovary. A suction device connected to the needle will collect several eggs from inside their follicles. During the second part of in vitro fertilization, called fertilization, the collected eggs will be taken immediately to a laboratory where they will be fertilized. Fertilization may be performed by insemination, where several sperm are mixed with the healthiest eggs. Or the eggs may be fertilized with sperm injected directly into them during a process called intracytoplasmic sperm injection. The fertilized eggs, also called embryos, will be monitored for 3 to 5 days as they begin to grow. At this time, the lab may create a hole in the zona pellucida surrounding some of the embryos. This process, called assisted hatching, will help these embryos implant in the uterus. Some of the embryos will be used right away for embryo transfer, and the rest will be frozen and stored for future use if necessary. The third part of in vitro fertilization is called embryo transfer, which is done 3 to 5 days after fertilization. During embryo transfer, a tool called a speculum will be inserted into the woman's vagina so that the doctor can see her cervix. A syringe will be loaded with fluid containing one or more of the hatched embryos. Then the syringe will be attached to a long, thin tube called a catheter. The doctor will insert the catheter into the vagina, through the cervix, and into the uterus. Once inside the uterus, the doctor will inject the embryos. Then the catheter and speculum will be removed. The woman may continue to lie on her back for about 15 minutes.
So I guess the concept is clear now, all of you. I will talk about the different methods of IVF next time. We will today have a few ideas about how IVF is done. So the basic concept of IVF is clear to all of you. What is IVF? What do you think? In vitro fertilization. This is also known as test tube baby formation. Have you ever heard about this word, test tube babies? What do you mean by test tube babies? Babies produced in test tube. So do you think they survive there in test tube and they will be very small? No. This is a technique which is called assisted reproductive technique, which will be helpful for parents who cannot conceive by natural means. In this method, fertilization can be done outside the body, inside lab condition, and thus it will help parents to go for the production of child even if natural fertilization is not possible. Anyone, any doubt? Again, silence.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am, no doubt.
No doubt. So I am not starting the topic assisted reproductive technology now today because it's a big list and we need to look into them one by one. I will give you steps of each and every. So by the meantime, if you wish to ask any doubt regarding any previous chapter, are you people preparing for your test next day?
Yes, ma'am.
Sunday you have a test. So any doubt while you are coming across to chapter 1 and 3? See, no doubts are having two meanings. एक कुछ नहीं पढ़ा, दूसरा सब पढ़ के समझ गए. कौन सा consider करूं? Which one should I consider? Priyanshi, any doubt? Okay, so I consider no doubt is there. So I'm concluding the class here. Tomorrow we will see about assisted reproductive technology techniques, and we will finish this chapter tomorrow. Okay. All of you sit with your textbook and have a look into the question answers. We will start discussing question answer of this chapter also tomorrow. Okay. So bye to all.
Okay, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.